To work behind the throne is to play a game of influence without the glimmer of recognition. You're the strategist, the trusted advisor, the quiet force behind major decisions. You help shape outcomes, direct power, and guide the decisions of those in charge. But the challenge? While you guide the powerful, you must remain indispensable without threatening their position. It's a fine line to walk, one that requires a deep understanding of ego, power dynamics, and human nature. In this video, we'll explore key lessons on how to work behind the throne, giving you the strategy to influence without getting caught in the spotlight. The first principle is simple, but crucial. Never outshine the master. You might be brilliant, innovative, and capable of more than the person in charge. But you must remember, survival in this game depends on your ability to stay in the shadows. This isn't just about humility, it's about survival. Think of Niccolò Machiavelli, who advised the prince to always keep the appearance of strength, but never reveal the full extent of your power, lest you inspire fear or envy from those who might be threatened by it. Machiavelli's insights weren't just theoretical, they were practical. He understood that if you make the ruler feel insecure, you'll quickly become expendable. Take Robert Greene's law number 1 from the 48 Laws of Power: never outshine the master. Greene tells the story of Nicolas Fouquet, the French minister who thought it was wise to build an opulent palace and host a grand party to impress his king, Louis XIV. What Fouquet didn't realize was that by overshadowing the king with his wealth and grandeur, he made Louis feel insecure, which ultimately led to his downfall. You see, in any hierarchical structure, the person at the top will always be watching for potential threats. Your success is a reflection of their failure, no matter how illogical that may seem. And so, by making the boss feel superior, you secure your position. You make them feel smarter, more capable, and ultimately more dependent on you. The next principle to master is concealing your intentions. If you're the one pulling the strings behind the scenes, you must learn to be a master of subtlety. This is where the art of influence meets psychological warfare. The more visible your intentions, the more likely they will be thwarted by those who perceive you as a threat. Greene's law number 3. Conceal your intentions explains this perfectly. Look at Henry Kissinger, the U.S. Secretary of State under Presidents Nixon and Ford. Kissinger was known for playing a game of ambiguity with the world's most powerful people. His ability to make people believe one thing while secretly working on another made him a formidable figure. His quiet manipulations in the U.S.-China relationship, for example, were calculated and kept hidden, allowing him to build trust while shaping geopolitics. When you're working behind the throne, you can't afford to be transparent. If others know what you're up to, you risk losing your leverage. In the world of power dynamics, secrecy and mystery are your greatest tools. Keep your intentions hidden, and no one can block your moves. Next, let's talk about selective honesty and generosity. This is a game of psychological manipulation, employing small acts of kindness to disarm and disorient. As someone working behind the throne, you need to build trust, but always do so on your terms. Robert Greene's law number 12, use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim, captures this principle. The idea is simple. Make them feel as though you're helping them, but always with an ulterior motive. You give just enough to make them feel indebted to you, but never enough to give away your power. Look at the example of Steve Jobs and Jonathan Ive. Jobs was the public face, the visionary, while Ive, his close collaborator, worked tirelessly behind the scenes to design Apple's most iconic products. Steve Jobs knew that to build a successful empire, he had to appear generous and visionary, but he often leveraged his inner circle's loyalty to secure his position at the top. Ive didn't just design products, he made Steve Jobs look good. He didn't ask for recognition. His generosity came in the form of his brilliant work, but he knew who to rely on to bring it to life. and he used Jobs' public persona to his advantage. The lesson here is clear. Give people just enough to keep them hooked while maintaining control over the situation. To work behind the throne, you must make yourself indispensable. In Greene's Law Number 11, learn to keep people dependent on you. He explains how true power lies in creating a situation where others need you. This goes beyond just offering help. It's about creating a relationship where the person in power feels as though they can't function without your guidance. Consider Julius Caesar and his relationship with the Roman Senate. Caesar didn't just become a general by luck. He knew how to make himself indispensable. He secured the loyalty of the common people, the soldiers, and even influential political figures, allowing him to manipulate the Senate from behind the scenes. When you're behind the throne, it's not about being the loudest in the room. It's about positioning yourself as the person with all the answers, the key to the success of the ruling figure. Once you've created that dependency, you gain incredible influence over the decisions that shape the world. So, what's the takeaway from all this? To work behind the throne is to embrace the subtle art of power. It's about influencing from the shadows, carefully orchestrating events without ever drawing attention to your hand. If you're serious about wielding power without getting caught up in the politics of it all, you need to become a master of influence, patience, and subtlety. Never outshine the master, conceal your intentions, be selectively generous, and always keep your hands clean, which we will discuss in the upcoming video. By doing so, you'll maintain control and create opportunities for yourself to thrive. Remember, true power doesn't always come from the spotlight. Sometimes it's the ones working quietly behind the scenes who shape the course of history. The throne might not be your seat, but it doesn't mean you can't control the realm.